We're going to start working with radicals in Chapter 9. Now, actually, in Big Ideas Math, it is Algebra 1 in geometry and 8th grade. All have these same lessons, just different numbers. So if you see the square root of 108, and let's go back to square roots for a second, and just in case you've forgotten. If I said, what's the square root of 9, you'd say 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. Or if I said the square root of 49, you'd say it's 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. Well, notice that 108 is not in my perfect square list. It would be somewhere right in here. And what I want to do is factor out or find the factor that goes into 108 that is in my perfect square list. Okay, and I want to factor it out first, and I'll show you why in just a second. But, well, ask yourself, does 100 go into it evenly? No, this is where I'll start. I don't need to do these, check these. I just need to start here. Will 81 go in evenly? No. What about 64? How about 49? And literally, I know a calculator could get this in a second, but what if you're not allowed a calculator? Maybe you're not allowed to use the square root button on the calculator for some reason, and you're trying to figure out how to do it. So take your 108 and divide it by 49 to see if it goes in evenly. Nope, there's a decimal. Try 108 and divide it by 36. All right, it goes in 3 times. Okay, so that's the one we're going to use. If you put the square root of 36, the perfect one, in front of the square root of 3, 36 times 3 is 108, then you've got it set up where you won't have to rewrite it twice. What is the square root of 36? Well, it's 6 root 3. Now, I know calculators do this, but sometimes you have to be able to do this without the use of a calculator, and perhaps they'll let you use the calculator to find out the factors. All right, let's look at the square root of 24. Well, he's not perfect. The square root of 25 is, but he's not perfect. So try and see, does 16 go into it evenly, or 9, or 4? Yeah, 4 does. So I'm going to put the perfect square in front of the one that's not perfect. 4 times 6 is 24. And then the square root of 4 is 2, so I've got 2 root 6. That is simplified. And that's what they're looking to do, simplify them, not get decimals. All right, and then we've got the square root, the negative square root of 80. If you have one like that, just keep that negative up there. 80 is not perfect, 81 is, but start dividing by 81 to see if, start dividing by 64, 49, 36, 25, 16, 9. You're looking for something that will go into 80. Well, I know 4 will, so let's see. Square root of 4 times the square root of 20. 4 times 20 is 80, right? Well, here's the thing. This wasn't the biggest one. There was another one bigger. But let's go ahead with square root of 4 is 2 root 20. The problem is if you don't get the biggest one, then it will break down again, and that's fine. You just have a little bit more work. It's not quite as efficient. What goes into 20? Well, square root of 4 times square root of 5 goes into 20. So I literally have negative 2 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. The square root of 4 is 2, so I have negative 2 multiplied by 2 times square root of 5. So that's negative 4 square root of 5. Now, that is the answer. And that means that 4 and 4, 16 would have went into it. And so I will tell you, and let me just show you the quicker way. If I would have realized that 16 went into it, if 4 ever works, you should check 16. I'm going to get the square root of 16 times the, let's see, what is 80 divided by 16? The 5. So it would have been 5. So the square root of 16 is 4, so I've got negative square root of 4 times 5. So if you use a smaller one, it still works. You may have to do the process more than once, but if you use the largest one, you only have to do it once.